Listen to my words carefully as I describe this to y'all. And actually, I don't want y'all to just listen. I want y'all to visualize this in y'all's heads. Build a picture. Imagine this scene as I describe it, because it is crazy. Imagine a girl who has been with this man for the past 18 months. That is a year and a half, more actually, close to 2 years, where she's been with this man. And overall, nothing crazy has happened, but an incident occurred. It doesn't directly involve him, but his reaction to this raises all types of nuclear inflamed atomic red flags in her head, to where she wants to break up with him ASAP. And she does. She goes ahead and lets him know that she's done. They're broken up, and the past 18 months are just gone in the water in the trash. Surely he's not gonna overreact. Surely he's not gonna prove her suspicions right. Surely he's not gonna genjutsu himself into Genghis Khan and not just hurt her, but annihilate her entire bloodline. I wish I was exaggerating this or like lying about this shit and this wasn't a real story that involves real people, but it is a real story. Listen to me. On a warm summer day in July of 2024, where Louise Hunt, his girl, and her mom, Carol Hunt, and her sister, Hannah, are staying at the house doing human things existing, when a man breaks into the house holding a wonder weapon. I'm not lying about this. He's holding a mystery box weapon in his hands. It's not a gun. It's not a bazooka. It's not an RPG. It's not a knife. It's some exotic ass shit. And he uses it to end their mom in front of them and then end her, Louise, right after. Her sister witnesses this entire scene and also gets struck or shot at with this weapon, but she's not instantaneously killed. She actually remains alive long enough to be able to call the police, to be able to tell the cops and just call the authorities and be like, yo, to tell them what just happened, what she just witnessed. The wonder weapon I'm talking about is a crossbow. Out of all things you would expect somebody to do, a crossbow? I'm not even trying to be funny, but do y'all see why I said he genjutsu'd himself into Genghis Khan in the old times, bro? Because who's using a crossbow in 2025? To be fair, the Mongols did not have no crossbows, bro, but still, this hothead crash out who had to one-up his brother because his brother actually killed people. I'm gonna tell you the story here in a second. This hothead crash out used a crossbow to commit this massacre, bro. Let's get to all the details and let's break this down one by one. I think the most important fact that y'all need to know before we get into all the CCTV footage and the interviews and everything we're about to get to, and the fact that he somehow was able to turn that long ass, big ass crossbow on himself, and he used it on himself while laying on a grave in a graveyard, hoping that his story would just end there. I promise y'all this video is unbelievable. So hang on with me and let's start from the top. What caused her to break up with him, or I should say, one of the main causes that she broke up with him, was an incident involving his brother, Bradley Clifford, where two teenagers had thrown a water bottle at his Mustang, at his car, his nice ass car that he clearly values more than a human, but they threw water bottles at his car. Then they get on a motorcycle and speed off. What does he do? He turns into the master of road rage and chases them down in the car and is actually able to get to them. That's when he rear ends both of them, sending them tens of feet into the air, with one of them being the unlucky person who he was able to get to as soon as he hit the ground, and literally ground and pounded him into the next life. He took that person's life. The other guy was able to actually escape. I guess this Bradley was too busy beating up his friend and he just was able to run off. But Bradley obviously was arrested for this and was sentenced to over 20 years for doing this shit and actually killing somebody over a road rage incident, being that hot-headed. Now, where this involves him and her decision to break up with him was his reaction. Obviously that's his brother, but he did not denounce this shit at all. He didn't acknowledge that it was bad, up, insane, maybe an overreaction, maybe a crash out. He stood by his brother, 10 toes, backed him up, visited him in jail, stood by him, did not acknowledge that this shit was wrong at all. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you, that's your brother at the end of the day, right? It's expected. But no one can blame her for being thrown off, turned off, weirded out, scared by his reaction to that, to learning that his brother literally just beat the out of somebody to death for throwing a water bottle at his car, and you thinking that that's all right. I can understand it from your position because it's your bro, right? Your blood brother, of course. But from her position, it should not surprise you that that shit scared her and she wanted to get out, or this was a turning point in the relationship to where she's scared for her own life and she decides to break up with him. Before I continue going on, because we got a lot to get to, let me show y'all the CCTV footage of this crash out. I understand the emotions that come with this shit, bro. I really do. This is like, y'all gotta understand, maybe some of y'all have never been so deeply in love with somebody, but you gotta understand, bro, you could literally get your arm run over by a car. You could get your leg blown off by some shit. I don't know. You could get bit by a lion and have your torso. I'm saying all those situations that could happen to you where you feel physical pain and it's unbearable and you have to go to the hospital. Would you believe me if I said, bro, heartbreak can literally feel worse than that? So y'all gotta understand and keep that in y'all's heads as we take a look at these stories, because I would be lying and y'all would be lying if you said you wouldn't understand why somebody would feel so. Hold on, let's take a look at the CCTV footage and I'm gonna break this shit down for y'all fully. Look at this shit. This is him carrying, look at how big that crossbow is too, bro. I can't believe. See, this is in British. This is in Britain. This is in the United Kingdom. I know guns are banned there, but this is what we're doing, bro. Seriously? Y'all are having medieval duels out here? No, real life. This is like the one Western country where you actually have to like train duels. Like you have to know how to use a sword. But I guess now y'all got snipers. Hey, shit, he found a way around the ban. You're not allowed to have snipers, no guns, none of that, but he got his hands on a crossbow. My question is, knowing that he tried to end himself as well, how did he reach the trigger, bro? Look how big, bro, he looks like he's carrying a baby stroller. Look, to all my guys, and the girls too, all of y'all, life will test you. Don't sit here and act like you're never gonna reach a pinnacle point of anger where you get so close to lashing out and doing something crazy, where you're like at that edge of crashing out. All of us have either been in that position or y'all will be in that position. My best advice is to be self-aware enough to understand when you're about to hit your boiling point and hit the walk. What do I mean? Go to the nearest park, bro, the nearest forest, the nearest nature, the nearest place where there's not, but put your phone away and hit a walk, bro. Just walk for a little bit. Do some other shit. Hey, get you a heavy bag, punch the out of it. Do something to take your crash out on something else. I swear to God, from the bottom of my heart, bro, that is the best advice I can give to y'all. I can't even tell y'all how many times I've reached that boiling point before in my life. Seriously. Where you get so close to doing it to somebody. I'm talking about beating somebody's ass. You get so close to just lashing out, bro. You get so close to just, like I said, crashing out, bro, saying the world. You tested my patience today. You get so close to it. You have to listen to me, bro. You gotta go do something to take that out on without hurting somebody or yourself. In this case, your girl of the past 18 months just broke up with you abruptly, and clearly this shit is in your DNA. Y'all come from, I don't know where y'all come from, but you and your brother and your bloodline clearly have some rage-induced Viking DNA in y'all, bro. I don't know what it is. He killed somebody and beat the shit out of him in public for throwing water bottles at his car, and you just annihilated this woman's entire bloodline for breaking up with you. She didn't cheat on you. She's not the mother of your kid. Bro, if you can look at my videos, there's so many situations that are way worse than this that you would not understand, but you'd be like, okay, this is she didn't do anything to you besides leave you. I understand the emotions that come with it, but what the fuck? What type of demonic possession can get you to do some shit like this, bro? Seriously. When I talk about like the whole crash out thing, I'm not talking about this demon, by the way. This, like I said, this is some other stuff. I don't know what type of prototype this is, but I'm talking about us normal humans, because you don't know, bro. Life will test you. People will test you. Emotions are real, man. I don't care how calm and collected you are. You got to listen to me when I tell you, hit the walk, get some nature, walk outside for a little bit, maybe hit a sauna, punch the out of a bag, punch your wall, do some other shit to take your anger out on when you feel like you've reached that boiling point, because you don't want to end up in my videos, bro. I don't want any of y'all to end up in my videos. Seriously. But look, let's continue with the story. And let's actually take a look at the interviews now that I think about it. Let's take a look at how people in this neighborhood felt.
Go inside there because there might be a man on the loose there with the crossbow. So we all went upstairs and kept on popping our head like most of the neighbours there through the windows kind of thing there, so a bit of window watching.
I mean, what was that like on a normal evening, being told there's a man with a crossbow nearby?
It's unnerving.
We were all very anxious. We were on edge all night, unable to sleep until the very early hours of the morning because we're just seeing a flood of blue lights, helicopters, sirens everywhere. We were all very scared.
I can't imagine, like, how would y'all react if you got a Amber Alert or like a notification on whatever app y'all have in your neighborhood that says, be aware, there's an armed man with a crossbow roaming the streets. Don't laugh, be serious for a second. How would y'all react? Just picture yourself getting a notification on your phone saying that. How would you react? This is a unique situation. I'll say that. What the f***?
Because it's a really residential area and there isn't, nothing much ever goes on round here at all, apart from people going back and forwards to work, and back and forwards to where they go. Never saw anybody round here carrying a crossbow at all.
And the last important detail about this, and maybe the craziest detail so far, and it really shows you the point this person reached mentally of insanity, because after this situation, they found him at a graveyard where he literally tried to take, he used the tool on himself. He tried to take himself out while laying on a grave, and he almost did die. If the paramedics didn't arrive, like if they didn't find him quickly, he probably would have succumbed to his injuries as well. But fate has it that the paramedics in the hospital were able to resuscitate him and save him and help him survive his injuries and make a recovery, not fully because his whole body from chest down is paralyzed because of what he did to himself, but he was alive to face trial and to get sentenced to life in prison.
Do you accept, Kyle, that based on the evidence, that this is a premeditated murder of 3 people?
No comment.
Do you accept that you have meticulously planned this murder from the moment that you split up Louise?
No comment.
From the moment that she sent you that text message at the end of June, you began to plan her murder? Yes?
No comment.
Please don't think of this as me throwing my life away. I have lived and I am grateful for everything and everyone that has been a part of it. It is now my time to leave and be at peace, as this is what I ultimately want. I know you will all have so many questions and wish you could have done something different to prevent this. However, none of you have failed and there is simply nothing any of you could have done. This is my decision to just be at peace. You all have to take care of each other and speak to each other, as that will be the best thing for you all. I love you all so much. You okay, Carl? To carry on? When you wrote that note, had you already planned the murders of Louise, Carol and Hannah? So I'm interested in the words prevent this. So tell me what you mean by prevent this. Do you mean the murders of Carol, Hannah and Louise?
You first killed her mother, Carol, who even on that day showed you nothing but kindness in the moments before you attacked her. You raped and killed Louise, who had been as gentle as she could in ending her relationship with you after your arrogance and anger proved too much for her to stand. Then you murdered Hannah Hunt, who had done nothing to harm you save supporting her little sister. The evidence I have heard shows you to be a jealous man, soaked in self-pity, a man who holds women in utter contempt.
That is where this story ends. I want y'all to get in the comments and let me know what y'all think about this. I seriously do mean this, by the way. The best thing that y'all can take from this video, and I told you I always have to be real with you. I don't really like censor myself, bro, or sugarcoat things. I don't like that. I think it's best to be real with y'all. We're all humans, bro. All of us are flawed, and you don't know like how bad your buttons can get pushed by some people, by some situations. And like I said, your emotions, specifically and especially love, heartbreak, that shit is real, bro. Clearly, if you can't tell from my videos, out of all the crazy videos I brought y'all, literally go to the catalog, right? Go to my catalog. The worst situations in terms of how many people were hurt, how bad they were done, and just how insane the entire situation is. Most of all the videos I brought y'all that are insane revolve around somebody's feelings being hurt, revolve around love, heartbreak. And that should tell y'all something. Don't act like you're not human too. And yes, most of these prototypes that I bring y'all, a lot of them are just straight demons, bro. Seriously. But what you can take away from it is if you ever reach the point where you're like at that edge, please take your anger out and your crash out on something else. Go for a walk. Do something to relieve the stress, the feelings that you got, the pain that you're holding in. And don't take that shit out on people, bro, or yourself. Seriously. Because emotions are temporary. Listen to my words. Emotions are temporary, and when they fade, right? When this rage that you're in and these heavy hitting emotions leave your body, what are you going to be left with? Regret, consequences, a mess. If anything, just a mess to deal with, right? Whatever it is, bro, you overreact. Some shit happens. At least don't crash out on somebody else, bro. Take that shit out on something else. Anyways, get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. I appreciate y'all so much. If you made it to this point, that means you're a real one, and I really do appreciate y'all. And y'all know what to say to prove that you made it to the end of the video. Get in the comments and type hashtag LNS. I watched the full video, and I'm gonna like every single one of y'all's comments that I can get to. And the last thing I want to say is get onto the Patreon and cop a membership. It's the best way to support the channel. And hopefully, bro, very soon I'm thinking about dropping some merch. So stay tuned for that. If I do drop something, I promise y'all it's gonna be nice. The whole artistic low-key vibe is something I know I can excel at. So if I do start dropping some merch, y'all best believe that shit is gonna be fire, bro. That's just a thought I'm throwing out there. You know, you gotta speak that shit into existence. So stay tuned, and I'll see y'all in the next one, bro. I'm out. Stay safe, y'all.